Today back in my privet forest that's been growing quite well for the last couple of years. The trunks are still pretty skinny, but I'm fine with that. It's been in this pot pretty much its whole life, so I can't expect much. But the overall shape of the canopy is pretty cool, although it is looking pretty overgrown here in June, so I'm going to have to give it a prune. There are definitely a few shoots that look way too long, so I'll just trim them back to 2 or 3 leaves and really just tidy everything up. And that is all I've really done with this forest. It's been left to grow out until it looks kind of messy, then I push it back and slowly it's taken shape. But of course the only drawback to this is the trunks are never going to beef up. But like I already said, the pot is a huge part of that. But I think it's fine. As a forest it kind of works better if the trunk's being slightly slender. A load of really thick trunks here would look too powerful. I don't think it would work as well as a forest. All these trees here are started from cuttings which all came off one tree, which were also started from a cutting, so really they're all the same tree, well genetically anyway. So they all kind of grow at the same rate and have the same size leaves, which I think is helpful for the style of planting. It looks like Bigfoot's fallen over there. In July it looks messy again. It hasn't all grown back, it's more the shoots I didn't touch last month have finally caught up and they've all shot off, so I'll need to prune them back. That just happens sometimes, not all the shoots grow at the same pace, so you might need to leave them and then come back to them like I'm doing here. But it seems to be growing well this summer, so that's always good. Analogist, it's shut out again. It's probably the branches I trimmed 2 months ago reshooting, but I'm just going to leave them alone now. I always feel it's too late in the season to be messing around with them at this point, but at least it's growing well. It's looking nice and healthy in September, and a few of those shoots have really put on some growth, but I imagine they'll be slowing right down here. October's more of the same, but it's an evergreen so we won't really see much colour change, but it will drop a few leaves, but that's pretty normal for it. Then you can see it doesn't look as vibrant and green here in November, but it's all good, it'll just be resting now until spring. Here in late winter you can see it's lost a lot of leaves and just looks a bit rough. I actually prefer when it does this, then I can see what's going on with the structure. It just makes pruning a lot easier. And of course here I'm just pruning everything back like I did before, just so it'll be ready for the spring growth. You do find that when you're growing trees that you'll pretty much repeat the same things every couple of months, and over the years it all adds up and hopefully the shape of the canopy slowly gets better. Just let it grow out and then prune it back and repeat that until you're happy. That's all ready for the spring growth, and then when it starts to bud out I'll need to repot it, but for now I just need to wait. Luckily it wasn't a very long wait as I'm going to repot it here in March. You can see a lot of the buds are pretty much open. And there's Bigfoot, he needs to leave the forest for a few minutes. Also look at the state of my hands, I hate repotting when everything is wet. It's just the most messy activity you can do, but it's gotta be done. The weather's been terrible here, so it's been hard to actually get outside and work on the trees, but this one will be fine. The leaves are not too open, but it's also a privet, so it's not really going to mind some abuse. Anyway, this should come out pretty easily, as in a plastic pot. You can see the roots have just been circling the bottom. It's an aggressive grower in a small pot, and there's like 9 or 10 trees in there, so it's no surprise it looks like this. This is actually going to be easier than most repots. I'm just going to loosen up these long roots and then trim them back. I won't be raking everything out properly. I did this before and it worked really well, and more importantly it means I don't really need to mess with the placement of the trees. Trying to separate them all out and then put them back together again would be impossible. So you'll see in a minute I almost treat them like just one tree now. And to be fair, they probably are all intertwined and fused in a way that they probably are basically one tree. Some of these roots are really long and they're tightly packed too, But I got them loosened out and I just went around and shortened everything back. So it's maybe more of a hack job than a refined root work, but it does the job and it's pretty easy. If it's hanging down, just cut it back. There's going to be lots of roots near the trunks that are not touched, so I'm not really too worried that this pruning is too rough. And Privet is the perfect species of this thing anyway. Even if one tree did get too many roots removed, it wouldn't really care. It would just keep growing. So now it should be a bit smaller, and all the long stuff should be gone, so I can just sort of pot it back up and fill in the gaps. Hopefully you can see there where my thumb is, there's plenty of space around the edges for the tree to grow into. So it just needs a little bit of soil in the bottom, so I can sit it at the right height. And then I can scrunch it down and fill the sides. It's all very straightforward, and that should keep it happy for a while longer. And here it is now, it's growing quite well already. It's off to a good start. Hopefully the rest of the season's like this. Thanks for watching, see you next time.